All right, y'all, we're back. It's JE Live. I got my first guest of the new year. We're getting really close to football season. It's August 6th, right? And we just had our first joint practice. So I'm bringing on LaQuan Jones, a friend of mine who this has been in the works for a while. We were trying to link up and meet, last time I was in LA, that didn't work out. And then we've been trying to do this. And finally, we have put together you and I on the silver screen. Just kidding. I don't think people are watching this in a movie theater, but they should be because I got fire content here. LQ, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Jake, listen, man, it's been a long time coming. Like, bro, we
Absolutely.
go back. Like, you were literally probably the day one A1s that I've actually interacted with in the Rams community, being that I was just jumping in on Twitter and I'm like, hey, what's this place? And then, you see a couple of people's barking outside, pumping their chests and defending my Rams. I'm like, those my peoples. Yes. Yes. We are locked in, Jake, man. It's awesome, man, to be here and to talk about this joint practice, bro. Like, it's the vibes reviving. The Rams offense was juiced up, man. Like that's good to hear, man.
No, we like that, man. I was really excited to have you on. There's a lot of stuff I want to touch on because, of course, I am 3,000 miles away. So I wasn't able to just go outside and see the Rams. I'm kind of far away from that.
Hey, so, it ain't that. I drove 2.5 hours.
I'm messing with you. I know it's
plus LA traffic, brother. Exactly. God damn. I will take Jersey traffic over anything right now because this LA traffic is different. Oh, man.
That was so funny. I was totally busting your balls there. I was like, yeah, I can't just go outside. Like, well, hold on a second. Hold on a second. I was like, I know. I've been out there. The traffic's ridiculous. But yeah. So welcome to JE Live. It's been a long time coming. And you're the expert here today to talk about something that you were at, and that was the joint practice with the Dallas Cowboys. And it's not the Dallas Cowboys of old. We know that, right? They don't have the Dan Quinn, rowdy defense. And there's definitely some pieces missing. It feels like it's almost an incomplete roster. But just everything that I was reading about yesterday and even like the videos, and it was all like Dallas Cowboy reporters, it just sounded like the Rams went in and just continued to just kick them in the mouth. But what say you? I mean, what was your, take from it?
So I was actually fortunate to be there with Isaiah Stanback. He's a former wide receiver quarterback for the Patriots and for the Dallas Cowboys that he works for now. And with Nate Newton. And I was like, trying to just listen in and hear what they were talking about with their defense and everything. And way they were talking about this Rams offense, man, it has up tempo. Jimmy G was going out there throwing no looks. He was going out there feeling himself. He caught a bomb, the 2-2 up the perimeter. And I'm like, this is exactly what I wanted to come here and see. I want to see the energy. And that lets me know, right now, we're going to probably tap into that later with Matthew Stafford. The vibes are high. There's a lot of confidence behind this offense. Sean McVay is not blinking an eye. He's not flinching when these questions come up about Stafford. He's looking at this offense this is going to be the most versatile. This is going to be the most impactful offense that we'll probably see. Right now, we're just banged up at the left tackle with, Alder Jackson out there with the blood clots, but it looks like he is walking and about. He's there at practice. That's the good thing that we're seeing. It's not like he's off somewhere in a lab getting worked on. He's out and about. So this is a good sign that we have some type of presence of a healthy O-line going into the season. Jake, 33 days, 32 days, it's a month out, until we hit, week one with the Texans. Of course, I want all our guys out there to be healthy, but just looking at the tempo of this offense, Jake, it's going to be really exciting to see how all this comes together.
I'm excited. You already see the comment. Jimmy throwing no looks? What's going on here?
Jimmy G out here. He was turned up. He was on one. I felt like he wanted to go out there and pump his chest and yeah, I still can sling this rock. I understand, as a Rams fan, we don't want the ops, crossing that line, playing for those whiners. It's been 30 years. The bang bang gang, the blank blank gang, you should be calling it because y'all ain't finishing nothing. But I'll leave that over there, Jake. I ain't trying to round up the birds over here, man.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a long season. Well, hey, I'll say this right now. I think there are a lot of people that are really, regardless of what you tell them, they're set in their ways. They're concerned about Stafford. He's 37, dealing with a back. We'll get into that. But Jimmy Garoppolo, it sounds like he looks pretty good, right? I mean, he's not Matthew Stafford, and he never has been and never will be, and that's okay. But this is a guy, kind of throwing you on the spot here. Is this a guy that you would trust if, push came to shove and he has to start a game in a pinch? Do you think he can bring the Rams to win that game? Do you think he could be like a Nick Foles for the Philadelphia Eagles?
I think so. I think if there's confidence behind Jimmy, especially us as Rams fans, the community, like I pop my stuff when I want on Jimmy, but I'm just kidding. Like I really want Jimmy G to step in and go out there and win these games. And I even hinted at the fact that, if you were so concerned about Matthew Stafford, if we don't see him next week at that Chargers pregame or joint practice, like one of the things I was like angling towards, like, hey, let Jimmy start the first 3 weeks. Let Stafford come back week 4. Let him come back, fully refreshed, because from July until the first kickoff, it's going to be like 10 weeks. So if you're telling me now my quarterback can be rested and well ready and not have to deal with soreness, let him sit for the next 10 weeks. Let him cook. Let Jimmy go out there and get these W's that I know we can win. And I'm confident speaking like that, Jake, because we're going to get into it later. Our defense, them trenches looking dangerous again, bro. Them trenches is looking dangerous. So with that backing Jimmy, I think we could sneak out like maybe the first 4 weeks. Screw it. Give him a month off. Make it 12 weeks that he comes back. It doesn't matter. I think we can come out at least 3-1. That Eagles game is going to be an issue. That's circled. Like them guys, when you bring them dirty birds up, they got that game circled, Jake. Like the smoke is coming that week.
Oh yeah. No, absolutely. And I mean, you hear from their fans all the time, and obviously, but yeah, I'm really excited for the season. I think going into just before we got all the news and everything and whatever, what we knew coming in was that the Rams offense likely, and I feel very good saying this, was going to be a lot better this year than it has been. Yes. And the reason I think is because people don't want to hear it. I love Cooper Kupp, but he is not what he was when they won the Super Bowl. The problem is they put so much investment in him, not just from an actual contract standpoint, but from a marketing standpoint. Like, this is a face of this franchise, right? One of the superstars in LA. And it is hard, a veteran, Super Bowl winning MVP, all that. Like, it's hard, Triple Crown winner, very hard to all of a sudden kind of take one back and be like, all right, we got to let Jordan Whittington or Tutu Atwell play over him because he's just not cutting it. I felt like essentially Sean McVay was put in an impossible situation last year where, LaQuan, I understand how this sounds, but I'm sitting there and I'm like, are we sure Jordan Whittington isn't better in this scenario right now than Cooper Kupp being out there? And that is just the reality. Like, I don't think he was the same player, and, his body of work, and obviously I have a lot of respect for him, and honestly, one of my all-time favorites. But sometimes, like, they always talk about how this business is tough, right? It's a tough business. It's unfortunate, all of that. I mean, man, we've seen Robert Woods go out the door, never got a chance to play another game after the injury. We saw Todd Gurley and what he went through, right? We saw James Laurinaitis. We saw Chris Long. We have seen these. I mean, obviously, they haven't accomplished as much as, Cooper Kupp with the Super Bowl, but we've seen guys that were franchise faces. We've seen guys that were fan favorites, had to go. And it brings me to my point. The Rams finally have an X receiver in Davante Adams. And I just don't think people realize, you do. And, obviously if you've done your homework, you do. But Davante Adams, he might have fallen off a tad, but it's not really noticeable on Sundays. And that's a scary thing for anybody that's facing this offense.
I'd tell you what, watching him out there in person. And here's the thing, like, I realized, like, I've never seen him play in real life. Like, I've never seen him at a game where I'm watching him and seeing how he's able to break off his routes and how physical he is as a route runner, how he's able to just confuse defenders and leave them lost. We saw that everything in the joint practice. Like, when you look at the Cowboys DBs, like, they're scared. They're honestly scared to death because it's like, oh, I got to worry about Puka. And now I have to worry about Devontae Adams. And a lot of times, and look, we could talk about Cowboys, but we're not. But comparison to what was going on the other side of the field was CD and Pickens playing, hey, if you're going to get nosy, if that defender is going to be covering me one-on-one, you're going to have to respect Puka's out there by himself. And again, you're not stopping Puka off of first contact. So if you got a little guy on him, which we see many, many times, Puka is breaking off that and hitting up the field at least 6-7 yards after the catch. Boy, do you understand what we have right now on the perimeter? Like, that's why I'm not worried. Like, Rams fans that are out here on the timelines, Twitter, TikTok, wherever, YouTube, chill out. Do you understand? Even if Stafford's not ready, we have a backup plan. This is the most depth that we've had at the quarterback position. This is the most depth that we had at the wide receiver position, honestly, because going out there, looking at Konate Mumfield, God, he is a name right now, Jake, and it needs to be respected because when we talk route running, if you love watching yourself a Devontae Adams work, he's in the same room with this guy. And you don't think that he's picking up things? Like, bro, Jake, he is out there leaving guys lost. He's making them like second guess, like, oh, wait, hold up. This is the second string, right? This is the third. No, Konate Mumfield is real, bro. Like, it's really exciting to see him, Jordan Whittington, get along. Obviously, Jay Witt out there just giving him gems, and like he's kind of like the little brother right now. But you honestly see this room, and it's like, bro, we got Puka, we got Adams, we got Tutu, we got freaking Jordan Whittington and Konate Mumfield. Like, dude, this is the best depth that we've had at multiple positions. And guess what? I didn't even mention the running backs. We got 3 demons in there. Like, what are we talking about? Like, you have to feel really excited and really good about this Rams offense. Just know that it's going to be all right. These last 2 years, we have proven that we have fight 10-7 back-to-back coming from darkness of adversities. Tyler Higbee, Kyron going down in 23, having Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua down in the beginning of the season and come back, and we are here in the playoff contention again. And we were 1 play away, and I hate saying that, and I know that's very triggering for some folks.
But it's true.
But God, if it wasn't snowing, Jake, and I said it, I was like, we need to put full gas because I don't think they fully understand Philadelphia weather. They don't understand East Coast how it be. It'll be clear as day. Oh, yeah, we're good. And then it will be a snowstorm in 45 minutes. Boy, that's all I'm going to say. If it wasn't snow, it would have been up, man.
No, I love exactly what you're saying. And, you know, didn't you, from what I remember, for your show, you do the Sick podcast, the Rams recap. Yeah. Great stuff. You interviewed Mumfield, right? Or am I losing it? Okay. Yes, I thought you did. Yeah. No, that's awesome.
Like literally it was like a couple days after the draft, the Sick Podcast Network ended up reaching out to him. And then we kind of just been vibing since then. And like, the thing is about him, he's such a good kid, man. Like, he is literally trying to lock in, learn every little small detail, and be available and when his name is called. And he's healthy, strong route runner, strong hands too, reliable hands, Jake, out there. Like, there's one video on my TikTok and on my Twitter right now of Konate Mumfield. He doesn't catch the ball from Stetson, but you show what you are worth on the field by laying out for that ball to make that play. The ball was way sailed beyond him, but I am going to respect the guy that's going to dive out in a joint practice with so many eyes on him. Say, hey, I'm still going to lay out for this because there's still a chance, that 1% chance I can get my hands on this ball. And you got to respect that. These are the guys that we want in the locker room, Jake, man. Like, this whole season, to me, man, I'm going to just sit back and just watch because I'm just like, you guys are all worried. You guys are talking trash over there and haven't won anything in 30 years. 1994, Jake. How old were you in 1994, Jake?
-1.
-1. There we go. You've seen them suffer for 30 years. Yeah. I envy you. I envy you, man.
Oh man. It's so funny you say that. By the way, California kid, and it seems like a lot of people in the comment section, not to my shock at all. Jake, who is this guy? Love his energy. Please bring him back on the show. You've been on the show for 14 minutes and people are like, all right, when's the next one? Like, you know,
bro, man, this is a long time coming, man. We finally got it right. We got it locked down, bro. And like,
hell yeah.
Listen, sometimes the universe pulls us together when it's meant to be, man. California kid, shout out to you, bro.
Absolutely. Well, and I did also tell them, and obviously it's going to be hard for me to do this, but I'm going to try and do a JE live every single day. And I have not done that before. I've done videos, right? I prefer live streams. I just do. I like shows, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're down, I might just be like, "Hey, what you doing right now? I'm about
Hey,
to
you
go
free?
live."
I'll pull up, bro. I'm telling you, especially after a game, I'm ready to bark and talk my ish, bro. Like,
Hey.
listen, hit me up, Jake.
Hey, you know, you're on speed dial. I know speed dial doesn't exist anymore, but
Yeah, right.
there.
I'm about to say, damn, does that still exist, bro? Like, oh man, I think the speed dial is just actually just pushing the button.
Oh man. Well, guys, definitely be sure to check out at Real Deal Fantasy on Twitter or X, whatever you call it. And also check out the Sick Podcast, Rams Recap. You just had my guy DeMarco Farr. And I'm not gonna lie, I gotta get DeMarco on because I went to Rams Revealed. He did a Rams Revealed episode, and well, he did two, right? It was a live podcast when I was out there in LA last year. And he did one with Marshall Faulk and Isaac Bruce. And I've interviewed both of them, believe it or not. But the funny thing was afterwards, I was going to go up and say hi to DeMarco. I've always loved DeMarco, like just, you know, as a fan. He's like, "It's you. I'm such a big fan." I'm like, "What?" Like, what? I wasn't ready for that. So, yeah, no one has ever made me feel more important than DeMarco Farr.
Listen, he is a character, bro, and I love him, man. Because listen, it's so funny how we ended up meeting. Like, he ended up doing Good Morning Football, and obviously with me on that show, being the researcher, like we had to connect before the show, you know, production meetings and stuff like that, and like just getting to know him, and then we kind of found out, like, oh, we live in the same neighborhood. Oh wow, that's what's up, bro. And then that's cool, and then we go on, like the show happens. It's a great time, great couple days to spend with him there. And then, you know, life goes on. And then I see him at the grocery store like a month later, randomly. I'm like, oh, we really in the same hood. What's up, bro? Like, what the heck? So we just started chatting again. And then just in passing, got each other numbers in exchange. And then 2-3 months ago, I see this guy again randomly at another grocery store. I'm like, dude, he goes, "Quan." I'm like, yo, there's no way I meet you in the grocery store again. I was like, listen, man, the universe keeps bringing us together.
Oh,
you got to come on the
That's
pod,
how you
bro.
know.
Like, yeah, that's why I'm like, there's no way I see you at the grocery store twice in months past in two different ones. Like, all right, I'm seeing you for a reason.
Yes. And that's just sometimes that's the way it is. The whole synchronicity aspect of life. It's almost like, you know, regardless of what people say, it's like, I always looked at it as like it's God's way of kind of steering you down the direction you're supposed to go down without controlling your free will.
You cannot plan it. The plan is his plan. So therefore, just put one foot in front of the other and just get scooted along.
And then sometimes it's just a wink, right? Like it's just funny. Like, oh yeah, I was just talking about that the other day. Haven't seen it in years, and it just came up on the screen. You know, sometimes it really be like that. But no, that's great. So Konate Mumfield is somebody I really found interesting on film. I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh yeah, I had him graded as a 3rd round wide receiver. I didn't. I had him as a late round receiver, but I thought his desire in the run game, like actually trying to block, and that's always been my biggest thing. And you know, Sean McVay and this organization, just the who they are, right? Their makeup, their DNA. It's kind of made me just kind of turn a blind eye to wide receiver. Not turn a blind eye, but it makes me like receivers that might not be as productive or as sexy as some of the other receivers in the draft, because the ones that actually show you they love football, they show you on the field, they show you in the run game, they show you with their nuance in, you know, a route running aspect. But a lot of them are just like really good athletes, and I'll get coached in the NFL that way. Mumfield already had the attention to detail in the route running department. And then you saw his ability in the run game to block, and not just be a blocker, like not just, you know, just get in the way, actually block, use some leverage, push some guys backwards. So I'm excited for him. And it's really interesting because I think we kind of go back to 2020 with Van Jefferson, and he gets off. I'm sure you remember the game. It was the first game at SoFi Stadium. Van looks like he's going to be a big part of this offense.
Yeah. And again, he could have been. Jake.
Well, no. I'm talking early on, like his rookie year. So he looks like he's going to be a big part of this offense against the Cowboys. And, he gets utilized. And then, and this is where I'm going with this, and then they kind of redshirt him. They don't use him as much. So we saw that as well with Jordan Whittington last year, who scored a touchdown. A lot of people forget this. In the first game, scored a touchdown. I put in anytime touchdown for Jordan Whittington. I was distraught because that was the play where our Curry grabbed the guys and then it got taken back. But I'm looking at Mumfield as really, I'm hoping that he gets an actual shot, because I think they have guys that can attack every level of the field. And, I just feel like when you look at this wide receiver room, we haven't been able to say in the past, that much, but it's very diversified.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that. And like you were saying, you're telling me, he's getting open. He's making guys look like fools. And you talk about Whittington and how you can kind of use them all over the field.
Oh, yeah.
I saw in the comments section, though, Atwell. Not hearing much about Atwell. We saw the touchdown yesterday. Well, some of you did. What are your thoughts on Tutu Atwell? You also, you went to camp as well. I think you went to one of them. But what are you seeing from number 5?
5 needs to be used at a higher rate because his speed is elite. And like you see, he's putting the work in. And, they brought him back because McVay wants to be very different than last season. He wants to be versatile. That word versatile is going to be utilized until we see it week 1. Because I think that when you look at Tutu, right, he doesn't really bring that much of like an all-around full-time wide receiver. But I think there's opportunities to use him more as such, of where that deep threat, like he's still going to have Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams making so much work and distraction, where there's plays where you can have Puka and then just send Tutu up the sideline to pull that safety, because you have to respect 12. You have to respect 17. So it's like one of those things. If you find the perfect formula to get Tutu utilized at a higher rate of that deep threat, I'm telling you now, Tutu can honestly have a season where he's putting up almost 800 yards. And again, that is a great season for him because he is the wide receiver 3. But again, all this needs to come down to is obviously Matthew Stafford's health, his availability, the O-line staying healthy, because he's going to need time to develop, because people fear him too. They fear his speed. They know it's elite. So they see him peeling up that sideline. You're going to respect it at some point when you say, oh, he's not slowing down. Like he's about to hit the parking lot. Like that's how fast Tutu is, though. He makes you think and react very quickly. So I'm seeing good things from him. And I do think he's going to have this breakout season that we know that he can be.
Yeah, I'm really excited for Tutu Atwell. I was shocked when they brought him back. Absolutely shocked. And in a good way, because it just didn't feel like a player that they would feel attached to actually offer him a deal. And he ends up getting what I'm going to call the Dante Fowler Jr. deal, the 1-year deal. We'll see what ends up happening. Yeah. He could get
Fowler
paid.
Was a dog that year. He got paid and he played. Got paid and he played.
He was.
Leonard Floyd too. Them boys got paid and they played. Thank you for your services, fellas.
Absolutely. No, 100%. And so, we'll see how that goes with Atwell. They, like you're mentioning with Mumfield, and I'm sure they'll probably draft another receiver because that's probably going to be their thing. Now they're like, okay, well, receivers are currency in this league, especially when we have the best receiver coach, right? Because Eric Yarber knows what he's doing.
Yarber, man, he is blessing them boys with whatever he is speaking life into them. They have so much confidence, and whatever he is teaching them, they're grasping it and displaying it on the field at a high level. That is, come on, bro. Like, there's nowhere in my heart here, Jake. Like, we should just be celebrating that we are in this current state, because I know you remember the dark days, brother.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I think there's a lot of PTSD out there on the timeline of going back to the Fisher days, but that is not anywhere near going to happen.
I mean, I remember thinking, and I mean, I don't even think I'm wrong to feel this way. I remember thinking Denari Alexander with healthy knees could have been Randy Moss.
Randy Moss, Jake, really? I'm gonna have to stop you there.
That man was insane. Like I remember, and it's so funny because I remember Rams fans. I remember my friends who used to bully me for being a Rams fan. Upstate New York, like in the St. Louis Rams. Come on now.
I'm in New Jersey and they giving me hell. They're like,
yeah, why? There you go.
Why?
And why? I'm sitting there like, I know I'm right about Denari Alexander. If he went anywhere else, he would instantly do more. And then sure enough, he goes with Phillip Rivers in the Chargers and he had like 800 yards in 7 games and then his knee blew out and we never saw him again. And I'm convinced this man could have been very, very special if he had healthy knees. And that is really kind of what brings me to the point, like what you're talking about, like the whole dark days. I remember, like Danny Amendola was the number 1 receiver. Dude's 5'8". Dude's a slot receiver, and he's the number 1 receiver for the Rams at that point. Brandon Gibson.
Gibson, Brandon Lloyd. I mean, bro, Chris Givens was our deep threat. And I'm like, yo, this is a team that has so much potential. It's not working. We can't get a quarterback to stay healthy or to come in the staff. There was a time where I was desperately saying, please, Sean Mannion. Please, Sean Mannion. Listen to the name. Sean freaking Mannion. I'm sitting here praying to step up and do something because we're sitting here with a freaking Sean Hill and Austin Davis going out there. And everybody is bullying me. Oh, Austin Davis. He's a guy.
Dude, when he went to Philly,
he came in with confidence, though.
He went to Philly. He outduels Nick Foles, and then they're like, yeah, we're going to go and get that guy. Like, what? No, Austin Davis is another one, but he, you get lost in the sauce because you could be a good player. And this is why I always say, actually Terrence Ferguson, we'll go into that. But Terrence Ferguson, right, was not my favorite tight end in this draft. I liked him, but I felt like Harold Fannin Jr. was the best tight end in this draft. I loved him. Absolutely loved him. Loved him for the Rams. Loved him for any team. But here's the thing.
I liked him or Elijah Arroyo that ended up going within the division.
He had too many of those, like, I'll just stick my arm out and like hit your leg and then just fall down. Like, I was like, dude, this dude's huge. And you can bring it down with your arm.
Man. He battled some injuries, bro. Like,
that's fair. That's
a business decision to get in the league. He might play a little different now, but I'm a little not worried, but I'm just keeping my eye to the side. Like, I'm gonna watch over there in the Seahawks and see what he do in that 12P.
Hey, and now Harold Fannin Jr. is on the freaking Browns. So
yeah, R.I.P.
Poor guy. Well, he gets to wear the same colors, I guess. So that's that's something.
And he's a Canton guy, so it's all right. He's home. He's home.
I was shocked that the Rams didn't like him, or maybe they did, and they just like Ferguson. Yeah. But here's the thing with Ferguson: was not my favorite, but I liked him, and I always use this rationale when I'm sitting there like, I don't know if that's the guy I would have picked, but the Rams now are not the St. Louis Rams. The St. Louis Rams could have had talent, and we'll never know. Like, I think, like Donnie Avery, for instance, I think Donnie Avery could have been something in the league, but he started with the Rams, so who knows, right? And you saw those guys, like Laurent Robinson, he goes to the Cowboys, and he's like actually good. And you're like, oh, maybe these are actually talented players that just aren't working in this offense or anything about this organization. But with Sean McVay's, this whole regime, when you go out and you get a Terrence Ferguson on the SoSar St. Louis Rams, I'm concerned. Genuinely. You go out and get him Sean McVay's LA Rams, and now I'm like, okay, I definitely see the vision there, and I trust it. And that's how I feel. But I am concerned about the groin because now, is he going to play on Saturday? I don't know.
Probably not. He wasn't suited up at all at the joint practice. He was actually standing off like to the side.
That's practice. Not good.
Yeah. So I don't see him suiting up at all.
So how did the tight end room look outside of him? Because I heard.
Everything. Davis Allen is freaking huge, bro. First of all, let's start there. I'm like, God, that is a massive human.
Loved him at Clemson.
But Higbee was out there, man. And listen, Higbee, I think we might see a little tap of what I would say the 22 season was. I want to say where that's when we were using a lot more 12 personnel. Like there will be a lot more involvement with him in this offense as well. And we know Higbee is a red zone target, so that's comforting as well. Like they're gonna have to worry about our tight end. So like the tight end room, like I do think now that Ferguson's kind of going to have to take a step back, then you have to start switching things up. Like, I think it's going to be Tyler Higbee, and that's about it. Like Davis Allen, Kobe Parkinson, like I think these guys, they're going to just be in and out and shuffle and rotation in. But I think this offense, honestly, is the most dangerous when we're in 3 wide receiver sets. And again, that leaves so many headaches that defenders have to respect. And plus, when you have a run game, a possible 1-2 punch with Kyron, Jarquez, or whoever, if it's Blake Corum, whatever. Put it like this. You're going to have so many headaches to deal with this offense. And again, versatility is going to be said a lot. I do think that the tight ends are the sneaky position that's going to be forgotten in this mix, and they can produce in the red zone for us. Because I think that was our biggest issue, Jake. That's why Adams is here. Like, we were god awful in the red zone. And I hate to bring up Cooper Kupp. I hate to bring up Cooper Kupp in a negative light, but Cooper Kupp was not himself or even respected in the red zone before. Because again, when you're coming off of these injuries, when you're coming off the ankle injury, you're not able to separate as much as you were able to before. You're not able to be respected as a guy that is going to lead the defender lost. So I think having that's why we fed Kyron so much in the red zone, because we were desperate to score. So it's like now with these pieces are starting to look together, the tight ends are going so under the radar. And it's like, that's going to be like one of our biggest like secret weapons every Sunday.
Oh, yeah. And I think the biggest thing is when you add a Tyler Higbee to the offense last year, and I saw it, I was at the Jets game, one of the coldest days of my life. But, you're at the Jets game and you see Tyler Higbee gets that touchdown, and almost instantaneously, you see his presence felt. You see a guy that's, making guys miss in space. And all of a sudden, I have this like shopping list of what I look for in prospects during the draft. And I'm like, tight end that makes guys miss. And that's why I came like Harold Fanning Jr. I was like, no brainer, led the league.
No brainer.
But that's the thing is Higbee can do that. When you go back to 2022 and you start to talk about that, you go back to the, the slip screens for the tight ends and you start to see, I mean, they were doing that stuff during the Super Bowl season. You look at Bryson Hopkins, you look at Kendall Blanton. They had some success in those certain spots. Higbee is a very good athlete. I think people forget how good of an athlete he truly is. So
Big Rig, you better respect his frame, because that's how he's making folks miss and how he's
block.
Going through them.
He can block.
That's the big thing. And I think when we go attack these drafts in the future, man, like I hate to see Higbee ride off into the sunset, but God, he has left a huge blueprint for these young tight ends to look at.
Oh, yeah.
This is the type of tight end I want to be for the next 10 to 12 years in the league. Like I do really feel really confident in Terrence Ferguson kind of playing that Gerald Everett role. Like I do want to see him and Higbee on the field at the same time and kind of create that, tandem of like, oh my God, we have a dual threat. Like we're actually going to execute the dual threat tight ends. We haven't seen that in years, Jake. Like we haven't seen that tandem between Higbee and Gerald Everett of that 1-2, because I know you remember that one year where like these guys were literally sliced down the middle in production. And again, you're like, how do you deal with this? How can you defend this? And this is when we're still kind of like trying to figure out our wide receivers. We're still trying to figure out a Tavon Austin. Like these pieces, man, they're all coming together now. And like this following year, it's going to be very important for the Rams. And I think that with that importance and pressure builds diamonds, baby. And we're bringing home some rings, and it may be at Levi Stadium this year.
Yeah. And I mean, just saying, if Jimmy Garoppolo, regardless if he's starting or not, and obviously I hope not, because obviously I love Matthew Stafford.
Wouldn't that be the best revenge story though? Like Jimmy wins us a Super Bowl at Levi Stadium. Like that just kind of writes itself. Like that's Hollywood stuff, bro.
Oh man, that would be crazy. And it is funny how not every 49, there are a lot of, I think 49ers, they have some incredible content creators. Incredible. Like I'm friends with a bunch of them, and they're very level-headed. Now the fans not so much, but there are some good fans out there, right? But but some. Man, I'll tell you,
I tolerate some.
I like Marcus Grant. Okay, well, the idea that you'll sit there and you'll take in the information about Stafford, and then and we were talking about this, and 49er fans will come over and be like, "Oh, you better be worried because he's 37." It's like He's 37? Oh, I thought he was 27. I didn't know that. As a matter of fact, I don't know anything about my starting quarterback that won a Super Bowl, something that you haven't done in 30 years.
Yes.
No idea. I literally had no clue. And that's the thing that's so funny is they'll talk to you like you're an idiot. And it's like,
Yeah.
bro, not only am I not just a fan, I do this for a living. Like if I didn't know that Stafford was 37, I would give everyone permission right now to leave the show and just never watch me again. Cause like, dude, come on. Like
The thing is though,
yeah.
the 49ers, I think they don't have much to say to us. So they just say the obvious things that they think are going to like push our buttons. Like I laugh in my comments on TikTok when they go at me. And the thing is, I specifically focus on TikTok here when I'm talking about this because those are the most like outrageous, delusional fans. And I'm like, you guys are a different animal. Like you are the most exotic in the zoo of 49ers fans because boy, you guys have a different lens on the game and what the Rams have done in these last 4 to 5 years. Like, come on, we've seen the build throughout the entire Sean McVay era, and we've seen us elevate while you guys are I can't get the ring. I can't get why can't I reach it?
Yeah, the dollar on the
you're not quick enough. Oh my god, man.
No, exactly. And you know, a big reason why they haven't been able to is because I believe it's Kyle Shanahan. I believe it's the offensive line. But let's look at the Rams offensive line. What have you seen? You know, because I'm excited to talk about the defense. But before we do, we gotta talk about the offensive line, right?
Yes.
You mentioned Alec Jackson, he looks good, everything, but he's not actually out there, right? It's right now it's DJ Humphries. Love that pickup. I actually wanted him last year, believe it or not.
Yeah. Arizona guy, yep.
Yeah, it was funny because I think Bobby Brown's related to him. And he saw my tweet. We're friends, yeah. So Bobby
that's his cousin though?
I think so. Yeah, I think it was his cousin. And Bobby texts me and he's like, yo, I saw your tweet about picking up DJ. He's like, I'm related to him. Like, he's like, I agree.
What?
That was back when like AJ Arcuri was at left tackle. Like, what are we doing? You know,
so random though.
I know football be like that, man.
Yeah, for real.
But yeah, so I was hyped about, and I was even more hyped because he turned down the 49ers to do it. So he joins the Rams. They got Quisenberry. I always liked Warren McClendon Jr. That's a guy that I've liked for a long time. You know, so they have some guys. What is your feeling, you know, coming away from this joint practice? Again, I know the Cowboys aren't the defense they were with Dan Quinn, but they got some guys that can get after the quarterback. How did a DJ Humphries, how did a Warren McClendon Jr., how did those guys look, you know, yesterday?
So, like, when you look at this O-line, like, essentially, like, K-Dot wasn't out there, you know, we're missing Alec Jackson, like we're missing like the starter pieces of this, but you feel really good with the Bo Limmers of the world. You feel really good with the new pickup in DJ because they were manhandling the freaking Dallas Cowboys D line. Like they were kind of they were the bullies there. And that's comforting. Like that's a confidence booster going into the season. Like, hey, 2 of our main guys or 3 of our main guys are kind of banged up or just out of the way right now. We have a solid line right now to where like I am confident that going into the season, we're in way better shape than we were last year. I best believe that. And I tell you what, Jonah Jackson, I do think that we should have kind of just chilled out, you know, trying to pick up guys because he had a history already. But more so looking at now, I think when you look at this D line that the Dallas Cowboys have, they still got some guys out there flying around, but standing 2 feet away from Micah Parsons, his presence obviously not on that field. So again, just have that, you know, into what I saw yesterday. So it's like, I know this isn't a full strength of Dallas Cowboys defense, but man, they were handling their business in the trenches. I'm talking really physical, Jake. Like everything that we love that K-Dot do, that's exactly what I was seeing yesterday. Like guys were really physical in the trenches, and you love to see that.
You absolutely love to see that. That's great stuff. And that's kind of what I was hearing. I mean, it just didn't sound like because I know Rams reporters weren't able to say anything about anything. They weren't able to show video, whatever. Cowboys reporters were saying everything. They're like, yeah, this isn't close. Like the only thing I heard positive, and we'll talk about it, but the only thing I heard positive from Cowboys fans Cowboys reporters was Pickens and Lamb are going to be problems this year. And, you know, that is about it. But Before we get over to the defense, real quick, Kyron Williams, I was told from two people that this offseason he was working on his grip strength. That, of course, comes out, but he was working on speed training and increasing his explosiveness. Haven't seen him. Do you feel like he looks a tick faster? Do you think he looks more explosive, or is he the same player?
There is a tick now that his pickup speed, like soon as the ball is put to his chest, like there is a little difference, I would say, because again, seeing him that close, he may look a little bit faster than what it looks like on TV. Let's just say that. But there is a different pickup now that I feel like there's a different, feel to the game. There's a different confidence in hitting the holes, because I know you saw the video yesterday, him throwing out the peace sign. That's showing like, hey, I am hitting these holes a lot more confident, and his speed does look a little bit different than what it was last year. So I'm not going to say he's out there Tyreek Hill right now. And I'm not going to say that he's more explosive than a Jarquez Hunter that we have back there in that backfield. But what I'm saying is, it's like, hey, they paid him. He's a great asset to this team. The pass blocking that this man brings to the table as well. God, he lifted number 18 off his goddamn feet. And
that
I'm
was
just like,
insane.
That's the energy, Jake. That's the energy that this team has right now. And this is the first joint practice. Like, this is just, we're a month away from kickoff. And like, when the Avengers assemble, brother, we are assembling full strength, man. Like, I'm telling you, man, like, I feel really confident about this backfield, though.
Yeah, I love the offense. I love the way it's crafted. I love what they've built. Defense, also love a lot of the defense. I actually don't have a damn complaint about this team at all, to be honest with you. But let's look at the defensive line, because that is all I kept hearing. Once again, is like, yeah, Jadon Blue has shown that he can do some things in the Cowboys practices, but he didn't do a damn thing in the Rams practice. That's what I kept hearing.
Look, Jadon Blue has a lot of great traits that I feel good about him on a fantasy aspect of things. I don't know how he pans out with that crowded back room, but the dude is explosive. He has patience in this game. That's the only praise I'm going to give him. There's a lot of patience in his run for the holes to develop, and he's like a freaking slingshot, and then he just bolts. Like, he doesn't just depend on his speed to be dangerous. So I think that part of his game, the hype is real, but our D-line, boy, Jared Verse is doubling his production in sacks this season. That is going to be the biggest thing that you're going to see this season, because I honestly don't think people understand. Like, when you look how he bends the corner, it's very Robert Quinn-like. And when you look at Robert Quinn when he started, he didn't really make that much noise. That following season, he doubled his sack production. He doubled his pressures. That's exactly what we're about to see with Jared Verse. And he's at the head of this. And again, Braden Fisk, oh my God, he is a unlimited motor. And you got to look at this entire D line like, wait, let's peel the layers back. You got Byron Young, who is a Tasmanian devil on the outside, strong, freaking, like, when I see him come off the line, Jake, like, I swear to God, like, I would hate to be head up with him coming that fast with that much strength. And like, Kobe Turner, the conductor, him and Fisk, like, they're building a tandem where you're like, oh, you guys are working together like how you and Verse, and you got, like, you're starting to see this whole line just really get it together and gel. Josiah Stewart, Ty Hamilton, freaking Poona Ford is showing up as advertised. He needs another extension. He ain't play a lick of football for us, but God, he was in that backfield like damn near every snap. And it's like, is he rushing Dak or is he going after the running back? And it doesn't matter because he is there. His presence is felt. Like, Poona Ford is going to be a name that we're just going to be like, Poona. Like, the stadium is going to go crazy for him, bro. I cannot wait to feel that energy.
That's awesome. I keep hearing that. Like, it just sounds like Poona Ford is just making his presence known. And I thought Bobby was such a good addition to the defense. And, basically I found out that they weren't going to bring him back. And I don't think it was Bobby. I think they just really felt like, they could only have one of the two, and they watched Poona Ford's tape and they're like, that's what we need against Philly.
That is a plug and play right there. He
is, because I think Bobby's going to be really good in Carolina, but with Poona Ford, it just sounds like they can't get anything going. I heard that there was only one legitimate positive run, like that would be considered a plus run, an explosive run, and it came from Javonte Williams. And then they prefaced with, well, Poona Ford wasn't in on this play. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, are you serious, man? Like,
I did not see that because I probably was on the other field watching the Rams offense, but I did hear something about that. Like, well, Poona wasn't there, so that's why that happened. Like, that's good to hear, though, in the rumblings of these streets. Like, listen, man, like it gets
Tyler
you
Davis too.
Tyler Davis, yeah, man. Like, bro, when we look at this D line, tell me this doesn't give you flashbacks to that Greg Williams D line where we had Willie Hayes, Eugene Sims, Ethan Westbrooks, and these are our second, third string D lines and guys that were coming in and leaving the season with like 3.5, 4.5, 5.5 sacks with the freaking demons in the front line, Michael Brockers, Chris Long, Robert Quinn, and goddamn AD 99. Like, this is what this feels like, Jake. Like, this gets me super hyped when we talk about the trenches, bro, because like we're about to see fireworks on offense and we're going to see fireworks and explosions and God, whatever type of destruction is going to be happening on the defense. Like, brother, strap up for a good season, man.
Hey, I'm excited. And, you know, it's funny you say that because Albert Breer was at Rams camp and was talking about the things that really stood out to him. He said that this could be the best defensive line in football. And
wow.
I mean, I'm not going to say I know for sure because, I mean, like, there's a lot of good ones around the league, but it feels like that. It feels like it could be one of the best ones. And
I would say
they were one away from breaking the sack record in the postseason last year.
Yeah, man. And I would say this, we're the most completed, I would say. But there's some competition in Houston. There's some competition in Jersey.
Can you imagine if AD came back? Wouldn't even be close.
Can you imagine if we get Parsons? Like, can we even dip into that realm of like theories? Because, bro,
yes, let's talk about that. Okay, because there's other parts of this defense that I want to ask you about. But let's because people are going to want us to address it, so we're addressing it. Okay, here's the deal. Yeah, Micah Parsons is one of my absolute favorite players in the league. I would take him. What I don't understand is why everyone wants to pay Micah Parsons and then they're so okay with trading away Byron Young. Why do they get Byron Young? If I'm giving them first round picks and paying $40 million, $50 million to sign him, why do I have to give up Byron Young? I don't think people get it. If they trade Micah Parsons to the Rams, it would be for picks. The Rams also keep this in mind, and it comes with the territory here. You would have to essentially the Rams. They already have an idea of who they're going to pay. They just paid Kyron Williams.
Yeah,
I believe he was worth the money, but they paid Kyron Williams. They're going to have to pay Cam Curl. They're going to have to pay Quentin Lake. They're going to have to pay Akella Witherspoon. There are guys in the secondary they'll have to pay, Kobe Durant. But then there are also other guys. You're going to have to pay Puka soon. You're going to have to pay Steve Avila, right? Unfortunately, Kobe Turner, all these guys, Jared Verse. You're going to have to save money for Jared Verse.
You better put a large stack to the side after what I just saw yesterday.
A lot of guys to pay. So that's why I look at it like I don't feel like there's a wrong answer here. Because the idea of wanting to go after Micah Parsons is like the Mets going after Juan Soto. You want to go after that type of player. You feel like he's a franchise guy. Those are the type of guys you pay for, all of that. But what I don't agree with is how often like people are just like, oh yeah, just shoo Byron Young. I love what you said about Byron Young because he is still a part of this and he's still a very good player. And is he Jared Verse? No. And is he Micah Parsons? No. But like you could still keep him. You wouldn't have to trade him away. You might not be able to pay him, afterwards. But like if you're all in on a Super Bowl, why do you have to give up Micah? You have to give up Byron Young and 2 first rounders. Right now, the Cowboys have zero leverage. Zero. Absolutely zero. I would not be shocked if they don't even get a first rounder for him. And hear me out.
Oh, yeah.
Because they might, but they're not getting 2. Because people need to understand Cowboys have no leverage. Micah Parsons has not shown any sign that he's going to come back without a deal. Any sign. He is so turned off. And I kept saying this. I said it last year. I said it the year prior. Man, I don't like the way the Cowboys, just as a football fan, I don't like the way they handle contracts. Micah Parsons should have already been taken care of. They're paying all these guys left and right. And it's like, I've met Jerry Jones before. Really nice guy, at least from my experience. I don't like the way he's handling it. As a football fan, I don't. But it could also benefit the Rams because I know they were in on Jalen Ramsey, but they weren't in on Jalen Ramsey because they needed Jalen Ramsey. They didn't feel like they did. They wanted Jalen Ramsey. Like, he would have helped. He would have been an addition. Obviously, a little bit more likely of a trade than going out and getting a Micah Parsons, but you got 2 first-round picks. I think I would at least see what I can do there. I think I would, but this idea you have to get rid of, a Byron Young, I just don't subscribe to that. But what say you? What are your thoughts on that? And then the AD thing we could talk about afterwards because that was wild.
Oh my God. But listen, adding Parsons, like, I do think like this kind of locks up like a Super Bowl crack. Like, you'll be able to crack Super Bowl guaranteed on defense. You wouldn't even have to have, many of like different rotations on that D line. Just send the demons. That's it. You know what I mean? And like, to me, I feel like getting Byron Young in that deal and shipping him, like, I do think we lose a little bit of chemistry. I think we lose a little bit of like just familiarity of the defense, like that is important, and I think, just shooing him away, like, I think he's earned his keep of what he should be paid. You know what I mean? And like, he is a very crucial piece to that D line. And I do think that, what it probably will take is those first rounds, but I don't want to give up the first rounds. I want to keep the first rounds because, again, we're going to be really good. So we're not expecting like a high, like, I hope our first round pick is at 31. Okay. I hope it's just sitting there at the bottom, whatever. And what Atlanta would do, they'll do. Who cares? But I do think like that's just currency to say, hey, we got 2 to move up here to get this piece or whatever. I don't want to touch that. Like, I want 26 to be okay. Let's take a second shot at the Super Bowl and let's go back again with more different pieces of holes that we have. And I think shooing away Byron Young, that'll be part of 26 of filling his role now. We'll be starting again. You know what I mean? Like, I like Josiah Stewart, but he's not as strong as a Byron Young. He's not as, really familiar with this defensive line in terms of chemistry. And they are literally tap dancing together. It's a song and dance out there. And it's like just complete understanding of like where to be and how to rush. Like, what I'm talking about, Jake. I'm talking to the fans that get real deep in the trenches of understanding what's going on. But like, I do think like, I could see why you would say Byron Young because you don't want to pay him. But we have the 4th most cap space next year. You know what I mean? Like, there's money to be played with. There's money to be handed down to keep guys here for the next 2-3 years, or maybe like a 2-2 deal, a 1-year deal. Like, there's so many opportunities, like even within the secondary. Like, Jake, this gives me confidence with them if they have that much confidence in that secondary, not going after a Jair Alexander or a Jalen Ramsey. And again, I never was on completely to go get this guys unless it was Ramsey for the right price, because we ain't about to pay him that 20 something. You crazy. Dolphins was about to eat at least 16 M's for that. But anyway, I do feel confident now that they're backing up the secondary. They're giving the reins to Chris Shula. Sean McVay had this pep talk with him last season. Like, just be you. Go out there and don't try to appease me. Go out there and do what you think is best and coach these guys. And they're responding. They're going out there, making these plays, taking the ball away, showing up in times where we need them. Like, hello, Weatherspoon. Like, oh my God. Like, these are the guys that are here. Quentin Lake is going out there being head honcho captain of this secondary, just giving command. And like, when you see that type of development, because these guys have been here, these guys battled to get in this position. They had to deal with guys like the Jalen Ramseys being the star of the secondary. These guys are going out there to prove it. They're hungry and they're playing hard. Like, dude, I'm really confident with these guys. I have no worries about this secondary anymore.
Yeah, no, I don't either. I keep telling people this, and I really like the job that Kello's done, the job that Kobe's done, Darius, and then now you have the emergence potentially. I know he's sidelined for now, but Emmanuel Forbes was really starting to get his confidence back.
I hope he gets it together, man. I hope he's good.
Man, I really do believe, and hear me out because I know this is crazy. A fully healthy Rams team, because that Stafford has to be at quarterback, right, and Alec Jackson has to be at left tackle. But a fully healthy Rams team, I think this is the best roster of Sean McVay's entire career as a head coach.
Wow. Yeah.
I think it is the most complete Rams team. And it's weird to feel that way because it feels like they're relying on a lot of young players, not necessarily rookies, but a lot of young players, not as much star power, right? They do have the star power, but it's not like you have a Ramsey here, you know, you have a Bobby Wagner. It's not like that. But you do have a lot of really good players. And I think the roster construction has been absolutely brilliant. And it's not just this year. Yeah. This stems from picking 24 players the last 2 drafts. This is exactly what I said during the draft. They are going to go quality over quantity. And that's what they did. Every single player they picked this year, they have a plan for. Whether they are going to have a big role this year or down the road. But the point being is that they spent 24 draft picks and they got the guys they wanted, and they found a Kobe Turner, and they found a Puka Nacua, they found Ethan Evans, right? Doesn't matter where, they're all over the field, right? Special teams looks really good. Love, you know, they got Josh Carty last year. Love that. Really just all around, love what they've done. And I feel like this is the best roster construction. This is an absolute Sean McVay, Les Snead masterclass. And I think the only thing that would make this team more like, I would say if you could take one player, it wouldn't be AD. It wouldn't. It'd be Andrew Whitworth, because Andrew Whitworth is a guarantee. Like back when he was, even if you went the Super Bowl season, Whitworth, as much as I like Alaric, Andrew Whitworth is a guarantee at left tackle. So that to me is the only thing that if I could add one player, it would be him. Guaranteed. That's how I feel. Because obviously the defensive line, we're already hearing they're the best in the league, according to, but
I know, right? We're getting that cosign.
but the thing is, like, people hear that and they're like, why not AD? And it's like, I get it. But as far as all the positions right now, the only thing that you have any sort of kind of doubt with, unless you're like really worried about the quarterback, which I'm not, is left tackle. Because as well as, like you said, DJ was looking and Warren was looking. That's great. But like during the season, when you are going against the Micah Parsons on that team, whether it's him, literally Micah Parsons, or the best pass rusher, that's when that matters. And I just feel like Alaric is such a question mark. We're hoping it works out. But when we found that out, it was like, so I feel like that's the one player that you could add. If you had a Whitworth that was ready to go, obviously I'm not talking about right now, but if you football shape and everything, that would be the guy in my opinion. And I mean, you look at, the Super Bowls that the Rams won, and who are the 2 left tackles? Orlando Pace and Andrew Whitworth. So, hey, there you go.
You're right. You're right. When you're right, you're right. It's the most important, man. And we need him. We need that left tackle to be like a lock and not have any worry, like for one season. Like I just need to know our O-line is good for all of summer, all of training camp, and going into the season ready to rock and roll. Like I just need one season of that.
No, absolutely. Do you have anything else you wanted to say, or did you want to touch on that AD thing at all?
Oh my God, man. I do want to talk about Omar Speights and Nathan Landry.
Oh, yes. Let's talk about the linebackers.
These are underrated linebackers right now. And I feel confident there because our biggest issue, Jake, and again, I'm not here to point fingers and single them out and give them negative vibes, but man, we were missing tons and tons of tackles. And it was very noticeable, even though we didn't have a Poona Ford, but there was times where our linebackers, they were just not really in line. I really feel really good about Omar Speights. He's shown that he is gritty. He will do the work in the trenches. He will complete the tackles. He'll fly from sideline to sideline. Everything that we loved about Zach Bond last year, he is going to be the Zach Bond of this year. Omar Speights will be a household name. And I think you have Nathan Landman over there coming from Atlanta. Like, okay, he's not the biggest of linebackers, but he's a freaking playmaker. He creates turnovers. He's known for punching that ball out. Now, if you're going to be creating turnovers, this equals takeaways. This makes the defense, and they ride, and the vibes are off of just taking the ball away. If it's an interception, a fumble, a hard hit, it doesn't matter. Like, We need to get back to those days where we had Tremaine Johnson, a Jack Rabb, and a freaking Ronnie McLeod back there just being thumpers. TJ McDonald. Like, again, I'm getting those vibes of excitement of where we had these strong pillars and pieces on this defense, and that's exactly what we got. Like, you better stay out of Cam Kinchen's kitchen because it's going to get hot. I know you saw that play. He lit up Cavante, bro. Like,
man,
lit him up.
That was so awkward, too, because it's like, you know, the whole kind of unwritten rule, you don't want guys to hit the ground. And it's like the Rams just kept knocking dudes down. And you're like, bro, we're all getting better
the vibes
today.
Were high, bro. It was juice, man. It was hot, and folks was out there hitting, bro. You love to see it, man.
Oh, man. No, that's great. Yeah, I'm excited for Landman because that was a guy I liked the pickup. I knew about him because that was somebody that I was targeting just from the perspective of let's go out and get somebody that can help in the run game. Right? Really, really good run defender. But it feels like he's just become more than that. Like, this is somebody they absolutely love. He's already the green dot. I know he sat out yesterday and, 51, which is Troy Reader. There were a lot of people that were not happy about that. But I have never felt better about a Rams linebacker room. And I mean this. You got Landman. You got Spates. You got my guy, Chris Paul Jr. I had a first-round grade on him, by the way. Dolak, I had a third-round grade on, right? Love him. Love them all. I like Tony Fields. I don't know if he makes the roster, but I like him. Yeah. This linebacker room is actually fun. I'm excited for preseason because that's when these guys can really shine. And I'm telling you right now, they will have made a huge mistake if they don't keep Sean Dolak on this 53. I think he is an absolute dog, man. I really do. And I'll tell you, he's one of those you kind of look at, and he's not the same size, right? But you kind of look at him as a Matt Milano of the Buffalo Bills, and he's from Buffalo, and he just does nice. Everything. Interceptions, forced fumbles, fumble recoveries. He's always got a nose for the action, right? It's not just a nose for the football, because he does have that, but he's got a nose for the action. He's always in the middle of everything. And that, to me, is what Matt Milano is, right? That, to me, is what an Alex Anzalone is for the Lions. You're just always in the middle of what's going on, the action, the excitement. You're causing it, or you're stepping up and you're picking up the football that's just laying on the ground nobody else sees. I feel like Dolak is one of those guys that is going to be one of the better UDFAs we've seen in 5 to 10 years. He's got this work ethic, the athleticism.
Co-sign there, brother.
I love him. I absolutely love him. I was watching his tape at Buffalo, and I'm like, how? This is the only, by the way, Khalil Mack was there. This is the only, what was it? Consensus All-America from Buffalo in their school history. I don't get how he didn't get drafted, but I'm not going to sit here and complain that he didn't get drafted. I'm going to sit here and complain if the Rams don't keep him on the roster.
Yes.
That's what I'm going to sit here and complain about.
Sign him up, coach, because we need in-house guys that are going to always be in the mix. And that brings you back to like Alec Ogletree. He was always in the mix. Like he was always just sitting there like, how did he even tip that ball and intercept it? Like those are the type of guys that you want in-house. And I love the depth. I love depth because, again, you never know when these guys go down. You never know when your next man's up. And like if we got some type of dogs like there in the back, bring them on up. Bring them on up.
Hey. I'm with you, and they got depth everywhere. That's the thing, is that they normally don't have that. Like they normally don't have. They haven't had, and like we've been talking about the linebacker room. Well, they normally keep 3 linebackers, and it's been guys like Jake Gervais, who's like a former safety in the past and kind of undersized. So you get to the second level as a Derrick Henry. I mean, he's running through guys he's running through guys that are built, at linebacker. What do you think he's doing to guys that are 210? So it's really like that, right? Jake Hummel last year, they had 2 Jakes, Jake supremacy, but no, they had Jake Hummel, and he just got picked up by the Ravens this year. They had Christian Roseboom. I liked those guys, but like I don't know,
man. Roseboom came on as a late blossom guy. Like he ended up getting better as the season went on, man. So,
another UDFA too.
Roseboom got my respect for sure last season because he was stepping up in times where, guys were banged up too, and Omar Spates was trying to like get onboarded, to step in and kind of be the guy that we think that he could be too. So as the season progressed, like they definitely became like a duo unit. So Roseboom, salute my guy.
I love it. So we'll wrap it up. I gotta give a shout. You mentioned it, Witherspoon, number 4. I'm telling you, I think he is in for a monster season. I don't think a lot of Rams fans that don't give him credit. I don't think they understand what he was doing in Pittsburgh before he got hurt. He really looked like one of the better corners on that roster and in the league. And that was back when PFF actually liked him. Now they clearly don't. That's just it is what it is. But it's like guy can have
is your best ability.
Yeah, right. But he's out there, he's making plays, he's being a leader. And it's just so funny because the things that I hear about Akello, and it's not just from his camp, it could be from other people, is that it doesn't matter if he's playing on a minimum. It doesn't matter what he's playing on contract wise. He views himself as that like kind of alpha dog mentality, but also he views himself as, hey, I'm a veteran. I'm okay with that. I'm going to be a leader in this room. I'm going to teach these guys the ropes. He was doing it with Emmanuel Forbes last year, at the end of the year when they acquired him. And that to me is the type of guy that you have there. And then you already mentioned the leader that Quentin Lake has been, and Cam Curl can be a leader there. They got a lot of guys that are powerful in that room. I am so excited to watch this team because the way we'll see how things go down. I don't know how this season's going to go. I don't have a magic crystal ball, but I do believe injury permitting, this team is going to win the Super Bowl, and this is the best roster in the Sean McVay era. The roster construction is an absolute masterclass from Mick Snead, if you will.
Yes, man. And Snead, we trust, man. I will never doubt this man. I watched the draft, cool, calm, and collected, because I know Snead, he's going to cook.
It's true, man. Hey, do you want to shout out anything before we leave?
Man. I mean, look, the Sick Podcast Network, man, you guys can follow me there at YouTube at the Rams Recap. And of course, FTN Fantasy, I'm over there as the video content manager. So all the fire content is coming out each and every single week as the season starts to ramp up. And of course, you can catch me at NFL Network at NFL Fantasy doing this podcast twice a week right now. We're going to ramp up to 3 times a week coming towards the season end, but definitely follow me there, man. It's great to work with those guys, man. Like, it's just really a fun time talking fantasy, and sometimes movies, they get intertwined with some of our content. Who cares? But we have a good time just having fun, man.
Hey, I love that. I absolutely love that. Before we head out, totally forgot about the super chats, so can't forget about that. Chach, appreciate you for the 2. Hey, Jake, just here to support you, bro. I appreciate you, Chach. Love that. Wholesome as hell. Appreciate you.
Let's go.
And Brian, thank you for the 2. Where can we watch the Cowboys game on Saturday? That's a good question. I actually don't know. That's NFL Network?
NFL Network.
All right, awesome. There we go. I was like,
tap in. That's a nice plug, Brian.
That worked out perfectly. So we're both busy people. You got a bunch of stuff going on. I hope everybody checks it out. Afterwards, I'll drop a link to your YouTube channel, and that will be in the description so people can go and check that out.
Awesome, man. Tap in. Ramley, what's up?
Fire content. So get used to his face. I'm pointing the other way, not mine. Wow, egomaniac over here. Good Lord. Yeah, get used to me. I'm the host. Of course, my damn name is on the cover of the channel. Good Lord. No, get used to LaQuan Jones because he will be back. If you're an Avengers or Marvel fan, at the end, it says, oh yeah, this person will return. LaQuan will return. So appreciate you, man. And that is going to do it.
Yes.